I guess I should start talking. I forget that just because nobody is in the room to see me. Hi, Overlord. That y'all can see me on the video. I'm just like, I'll sit here till somebody says hello. That was kind of silly of me. How are you doing today, Overlord? I raised my chair up. Can you see? I'm not so short now. But it's made me have to look down to see the screen. I'll lift everything up, and that'll be better. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'll get it there at some point. Are you having a good day or a good morning, rather? Trying to find the prompts. It is way down the list. How is it so far down the list? There we go. Every morning. Well, I think every morning is good when I'm in someone's bed too. Overlord. Hi, Mercury. How are you doing? Are you having a good day? Well, we are going to finish up today reading the About Me pieces that we did get to last night due to me having a migraine. Hi, Casper. I hope you're having a good day. And so we've got a few more of them to go. And then after that, we're going to go into the March prompts. Leslie will be joining me for that. If you're new or you're just catching this video for the first time, hey, Ash. My name is Angelique. I am from the Breath of Daydreams. In the room, you will see VJHD.writer. That is the Overlord. And you will see other people in the room. Those are our fellow kitties, our fellow poets at the Society of Secretly Perfect Poets. And we like to write to prompts. We like to write to secret prompts. Shh, don't tell anyone. And so this week, our kitties, our poetic paws, scribbled down notes about me, about not me, but about us individually for Neurodivergent Week last week. And so everybody wrote something about themselves. And then if they wanted to go for the golden ticket, I can't tell you what the golden ticket gets you. They wrote about themselves from their 8-year-old perspective. So everybody did a phenomenal job. It's been such a joy reading these, and now we're going to get to read a few more. So, hi, Harry. I hope you're having a good day today. Casper says, I created a post because of your comment. Just keep swimming. That's cool, Casper. And so I think we should get started probably because I'm supposed to do this within an hour. Ah! Time limit, scary. Hey, Aves, how are you doing today? Good, I hope. And I decided to go ahead and read the last two that I did last night. That's scary. I don't want to be on your TV. That's huge. Well, that did not make me nervous at all. Please, nobody else tell me if they put me on their TV. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. Where was I? Yes, brush and pintails. I've been upsized. I don't want to think about that. I'm going to think about being downsized. So, brush and pintails. I'm going to read the last two people that I read last night because the migraine was already setting in and I don't think I did their poetry justice. So I am going to read them again and I hope you enjoy it. And let's get started. Thank you, Mercury. Tiny phone screen. I adore you. You are the best. Mercury has my vote for being best kitty tonight. And so we're going to start with Brush and Pintails, who is Gata, or I like to call her Pentacles. Brush and Pentacles. And this is her poem. I do not see a title. In the mirror's gaze, I see a soul shine, with stories vibrant and adventures divine. Through the winding paths of life, I've climbed and trod. In valleys low and atop peaks I've soared. With laughter that liberties and tears that cleanse, I've enjoyed life fully in every single sense. In motherhood's arms, my heart found delight, nurturing little dreams beneath the starry night. Ink flows like rivers from this pen of mine, each word a poem, a story so fine. I've painted worlds with paint and with strokes of verse, capturing moments for better or worse. And now, behold, my first anthology blooms, a garden of musings in varied hues, each page a victory through time and space, words written with love and tears rolling down my face. I am the author, the protagonist, the painter, the muse. In my story, I triumph, victorious, and never lose. With every step, I write my destiny's plea, loving all that I am, wild and free. So raise a toast to this wanderer's soul, innovator, creator, forever on a roll. For in this life and every life, I am fabulous, celebrating all that I am, using all the wonderful words that rhyme with marvelous. And that was Brushed and Pintails. And how motivating is that, right? Loved it. I I love the way she paints her world with her words, and throughout the entire piece, she is demonstrating that artistic perspective and that creator's perspective from a very optimistic viewpoint. She has a repetitive use of words like victory, victorious, protagonist, triumph, destiny. She is using her lines to lift herself up and show the reader, you know what? I'm pretty freaking fantastic in all that I've done. And I love just even her beginning line sets it up, doesn't it? In the mirror's gaze, I see a soul shine. And I love that. When I look into the mirror, what's coming back at me is glowing. That's pretty spectacular. And I like the with laughter that liberates and tears that cleanse. The word choices that she's used in this when dealing with emotion shows somebody who is very emotively mature. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. So I like this poem a lot. And then the next one, she wrote it from her 8-year-old self. And my 8-year-old self says, "Oh, big me now, look what you've done. With your adult camera, you're having fun. And I see you with your fancy paints, creating art without restraints. Guess what? You write using big words and you share. Not scared anymore like me. You dare. But tell me, did you ever think you'd do all of this? It's all so quick, like a wink. You're so cool, I have to say. Seeing our name on books, oh, hooray! I'll tell everyone all about the things you do and laugh and say, that's me, I'm you. Wait, we haven't learned more languages, although I'm worried life rearranges. It's okay, you reply with glee. There's still time, ma cherie, for you and me. Keep going, Big Me. Don't you worry. You'll learn them all in a big hurry. I'm so proud of you, me, us. I will tell everyone that I grew up fabulous. And that is a pretty excited 8-year-old. And Ash says, Pentacles was so wonderful. Yes, so wonderful. I love the exuberance in the 8-year-old's voice. There's that giddiness that when you meet a child who's looking up to you and go and you can see, because kids don't hide their adoration, do they? When they have it, their eyes get big, they smile, they're like, oh, I'm so happy to be in your presence. And you can feel that in her words for her. And so I think that's really beautiful. And she even used the words glee, hooray. I like the playfulness of it. It's a cool poem. So, da 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 da. Pentacles gets a golden ticket. Woo! Yeah. And then next, we have Patricia Helen Ryder. And Patricia wrote, Celebrating Me. 'Tis a challenging prompt you propose. As to self-deprecation, I'm predisposed. I was raised in strict Catholic orthodoxy. The weight of inferiority was instilled in me. Starting over, inferiority, that is not a word. Celebrating Me by Patricia Helen Ryder. 'Tis a challenging prompt you propose. As to self-deprecation, I'm predisposed. I was raised in strict Catholic orthodoxy. The weight of inferiority was instilled in me. But that's not what I've been asked to address, so I shall now speak to the qualities I possess. I see a shining beauty in all souls I meet. I smile and say hello to people on the street. I have a vivid imagination that flows readily. I'm filled with an endless burning curiosity. My laugh is like that of a Bavarian barmaid, and I like to drink raw ginger mixed in lemonade. I received super grades when at university I managed to get a grade 9 boys to love poetry. I'm a mom and a wife who loves my family near. I'm an empathetic person who lends an ear. I came into this world with a passion to write. I can write about anything within my sight. I've written 3 novels that I've never pitched. I've knit many sweaters and done cross-stitch. I feel free as the wind whenever I ice skate. I can do fast spins and trace sharp figure eights. I love to travel, and much of the world I've seen. I write stories and poems inside my dreams. I have experienced supernatural events. I have a Ouija board in my residence. It is impossible for me to hold a grudge, and I can make a decadent chocolate fudge. I have met my objective of 32 lines. I hope that you have enjoyed my rhyme. And I teased her about this when she gave it to me because she lets everyone know that she was a teacher. She's a retired teacher. I think she tested us because she met the required 30 lines. There is not 32 lines there. There's 30 lines. And I think she wanted to see if we'd count. And so hats off, horns off to you, Miss Helen, Patricia Helen, horns off to you. But I love this. I love the exuberance of it. I love that she brought in that she feels free when she ice skates and that she can still fast spin and trace sharp figure eights, because I wish I could do that and I cannot. And she is older than me, so I need to get my butt on the ice. Harry says, I hate feeling inferior. And Casper says, now I want cake. And Harry's laughing. Yeah, I want some chocolate fudge would be nice. But this 3 novels she hasn't pitched. Patricia, we want to read your novels. What are they about? You can't tease like that. That's not cool. And she got grade 9 boys, 9th grade boys to love poetry. What kind of miracle worker is she? So I really like this. And I know she has a very strong self-deprecating wit because it comes out in her poetry a lot. And I love that she went in this opposite direction. Really beautiful. No inferior lime, you said before. I fixed it, Harry. I went back and changed it. You need to catch up with the times. So next is her 8-year-old me. And unfortunately, she missed out and did not get the golden ticket, but it is an incredible poem, so I'm still going to read it because it's amazing. And this is 8-year-old me. I learned how to snowshoe. The only color I wore was blue. I made etchings of gravestones. I wrote a series of fairy poems. I sang original songs in my rooms. I didn't like to watch cartoons. I thought I could see angels at will. I made seagull feathers into quills. I flatly refused to eat moose meat. I wore Cinderella slippers on my feet. My tongue got stuck on a metal grate. I rode down sidewalks on roller skates. I went to the dump to watch the bears. I was afraid to go down the cellar stairs. I thought I'd hear secrets inside the wind. When I ice skate, I mastered camel spins. I loved to watch wild thunderstorms. I imagined shapeshifting into animal forms. I worried about doing things wrong. I was inclined to feel like I didn't belong. I imagined I was born in France. I loved to leap and run and dance. I played ripcord with friends on swings. I flapped my arms as if they were wings. My mom told me that I was a lost soul. It was then world travel became my goal. These couplets sound corny, but it's true. When I was 8, these are the things I'd do. Love it. Moose. Moose ash. Moose. She would not eat moose meat. What is loose meat? What is loose meat? I've never heard that. But I like this. And what a rambunctious young 8-year-old it sounds like she was. I love it. Turning feathers into quills, singing songs, writing fairy poems, already etching on gravestones at 8. Oh, ground meat is loose meat. Harry says, don't answer that. Well, maybe we don't need you to answer it, Harry. I thought ground meat is mince meat. It's called loose as well. It took me forever to figure out that that's what mince was, because I always thought mince had spices in it to make it kind of sweet, or like cinnamons and stuff like that. But I really liked this, Patricia. That was amazing. And Patricia wrote. That made me happy, 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 happy. And so next we have Caroline Creative Corner. And Caroline wrote, who am I? Who am I? Caroline I am. Definitely not technically proficient unless it involves a kitchen appliance or a sewing machine. Case in point, this poem was lost to the ether as I had at first tried to post it. My book, Poetic Self-Portrait, is full of my life stories. However, I find it difficult to write about myself as an adult. I am gathering all my pieces. I have never been a risk taker. Life has brought enough unforeseen challenges. A miscarriage, though heartbreaking, was minor compared to the body slam of my brother's suicide. My family and students have needed me. I could not just succumb to grief's pull into an abyss of tears. Stoicism was my parents' model. We have 2 daughters who still needs us, Mama had said to Daddy. I had written a poem, barely breathing. A quarter of a century later, I had a small stroke. I knew that I needed to create new dendritic. I don't know how to say that. I'm going to start this over. Hold on. Dendritic. Help me, Ash. Dendritic. Is that correct? Hi, Leslie. Hello, you perfect self. Is it dendritic, Ash? And I'm going to start your poem over, Caroline. I think I'm going to go with dendritic. I think that's what it is. So who am I? Who am I? Carolyn I am. Definitely not technically proficient unless it involves a kitchen appliance or a sewing machine. Case in point, this poem was lost to the ether as I had at first tried to post it. My book, Poetic Self-Portrait, is full of my life stories. However, I find it difficult to write about myself as an adult. I am gathering all my pieces. I have never been a risk taker. Life has brought enough unforeseen challenges. A miscarriage, though heartbreaking, was minor compared to the body slam of my brother's suicide. My family and students had needed me, and I could not just succumb to grief's pull into an abyss of tears. Stoicism was my parents' model. We have 2 daughters who still need us, Mama had said to Daddy. I had written a poem, barely breathing. A quarter century later, I had a small stroke. I knew that I needed to create new dendritic connections in my brain, and I knew that no one could do it for me. That first night in the hospital, I had determined to make these new neuronal firings, and I had carefully reached for a cup of water and was pleased as I had successfully grasped it, only to spill ice water all over my shoulder. Once out of sight, I had no power to control its direction. At first, it had taken a full minute to walk 10 feet, supported by a belt the therapist had held, and a year to turn into the shower without holding onto the walls. Now, no one knows that I have had a stroke, unless I mention it. Our home was damaged when Hurricane Ida felled a giant pine on the corner of our house. What was there to do but carry on? I could have been much worse. I had written a poem, Pick Up Sticks. Christmas night the same year, I fell and had a mild concussion. I had penned Concussion versus Clarity. It seems that my muse is inspired by these life challenges. I am stronger than I ever thought I could be. As I enter my 75th year, I know that there will be future difficulties. These too will be part of my story. I know that I am indeed a survivor. And that was Caroline's first story. What I like about it is that she is exuberant in weaving her poetic license and her journey as a poet throughout her life, and she's showing us this traveling story of her life that she has also dictated in her book. She has pinned it to paper. In her stories, these events have meant something to her, and she's telling us in this poem, these things happened to me and I'm a survivor and I'm good for it, but they did have an effect. Ash says that's an inspirational testimony. Yes, very much. And thank you for the words, Ash. It's very, very beautiful in that. It doesn't exactly meet the prompt, but it's a really, really gorgeous self-exploration, self-explanation type poem. And you can tell that she has faced a lot of challenges and survived them and excelled from them. She poured all of her, yes, Leslie says she poured all of her into these lines. She did. And that is a beautiful, amazing, incredible thing. And may we all have that exuberance at 75. I hope I do. That is something to aspire to. So I really like that. And I like the way that she started it out. She started it out with, I turned the wrong page. Hold on. She started it out quite witty, saying, who am I? Carolyn, I am. Definitely not technically proficient unless it involves a kitchen appliance or a sewing machine. And I love me some self-deprecating wit. So I think that was really nice way to, clever way to start it out. No, you cannot, Ash. That's not how it works. That's not how it works, unfortunately. And so the next one is her 8-year-old poem that she wrote trying for the gold ticket. And she wrote, I've re-entered 3rd grade. I've re-entered 3rd grade. Let's see where this prompt, me at 8, has led. Images of that journey in my head, gathering pieces, memories for rhyme, thoughts taken to 1958 time. Girl Scout camping, pitching tents, bestie gal, playing games, our friendships would never fail. Jump ropes, jacks, bikes, cards, roller skates with keys, fun hours we entertained ourselves with these. As an adult, daughter's Girl Scout leader, camping at mother-son weekend eager, still talk with gals separated by miles, though far near dear in thought, laughter, and smiles. Mrs. Wagner taught phonics, bleacher, preacher. I decided then to be a teacher. Only trip to principal's office, caught. We girls passing a note. Connect the dot. You did indeed follow dream of young glass. Hundreds of lives touched in your awesome class. Have been rule follower for most part, through heavy foot at will to get a head start. Independently then, I loved reading, library, old books, aromas leading. Childhood famous American series, I, curious to learn, full of queries. Mama made a dress with cute gathered flounce. On each step down of school stairs, it did bounce. Its fabric, bright vegetable print, cafeteria ladies' eyes did glint. Adults praised developing drawing skills, uncle's perspective lesson, I did thrill. Florida beach and Tallahassee trips, colorful seashells held in youthful grips. Daddy encouraged my earning good grades. I memorized spelling words, never fades. Mama promoted self-reliance. You do it, her motherly science. Role model, she did not smoke. Grandfather, another life choice, wanted to be role model, she did not smoke. Grandmother, another life choice, wanted to be like her. Just for a day to put aside the years, away, life's experiences and tears. And what I like about this is I don't often see Caroline rhyme, and she rhymed the F out of this poem. I mean, she rhymed it up real good. Caught that rhythm and flow. She made it sound childish in the way that she wrote it with the beautiful rhyme, as she's taking us back in this story, fairy tale kind of way through her life as an 8-year-old and all the things she did and coming up and the people that impacted her. And I think that's beautiful. She played with her words throughout it, and there's a real sassiness to it that I like. I like the way that where she says Mrs. Wagner taught phonics, she takes the BL and bleacher and the PR and preacher and capped them to really emphasize them. And then she put I can't ever remember the word, the dash to cause the pause underneath to really emphasize those. And that was a nice little play there on that stanza. But I think it's a beautiful poem, and it was a delightful to read. It doesn't qualify for the golden ticket because the golden ticket was to write about your current adult self from an 8-year-old perspective. And she got that twisted around, but it's a fabulous poem, and I'm really glad that she wrote it. I hope that she doesn't mind that she didn't get the ticket, because she got a freaking phenomenal poem out of it. And that's, I think, a phenomenal poem is better than a golden ticket. Don't tell anybody I said that, but you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. I mean, if you can get a phenomenal poem out of something, that's a treasure in and of itself, and she definitely did that. So I really like this one, Caroline. You did make your poems are beautiful. And next we have yes, the Overlord says, I'm impressed with her effort. Yes, and she went back and rewrote. Definitely tenacious. And she wrote some beautiful poetry. And so next is the Overlord, VJHD.writer. And they wrote, Fabulously Me. I was never very good at being quiet. I'll shout from the rooftops, even from the ground. Don't tell me to fit a form. I'll break the mold on purpose. When I was not being heard, I adapted. If I was being misunderstood, I would pivot. I don't back down. I won't give up. I know what is right, and I stand on the truth. I used to be the face of advocacy, the written hand of fighting systems. You can see in my face how I felt. Don't bully someone in front of me. Try and lie, I'll call you on it, publicly. Lately, I keep it to myself. But I got out of the truth-fighting business. I'm surrounded by honest people now. Anyone else falls away at the sight of my resolve. I am made up of pieces of glass. refined in the sands of stormy times, pieced back together stronger than any fight that can be set my way. I used to say I was a stained glass window with different pieces of who I was pieced together to hold me up straight. That's how I felt all those years. I would break into tiny pieces if I lost someone. Turns out I was solid. The memories of all I lost filled the hole they left, filled me with determination and anger. I won't go out without a fight. For some reason, I was made to last. With the truth in my fist and love in my heart, I'll outlast them all. Don't get me wrong, I am a fabulously nice person. Brilliant, in fact. I am very clever, and I like to think of things the way no one else thought to think them. Where some see whole groups of people, I see the gaps between the cracks, where people are falling in and able to get out, so I would build a lifeboat. I hear the way it's really said. The fine print is highlighted across their face. I am not perfect by a long shot. I type so fast that my brilliant knowledge of the English language gets me laughed off the stage these days. I get things wrong, make mistakes, but I'm honest, kind, and brilliant to a fault. I have decided I can't change the world. I don't give second chances anymore, but I can bring light to my own universe, send out pieces of warmth from where I live, help design a community that fosters truth, fill in gaps, nurtures the broken, help grow sunflowers when in the darkest of places. Help grow sunflowers from within the darkest of places. No, sorry. Help grow sunflowers when in the darkest of places. Apologize, Overlord. Leslie says, it is a great poem and her heart words are very touching. Yes. And my favorite part about this poem is the confidence in it. In spite of various things that have happened, still having a confidence of self, still finding oneself fabulous and brilliant, and having life's challenges feed determination, not squish. There's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot to be said about someone saying that they used to break into tiny pieces, but now they fit those pieces together, that they are refined in the sand of stormy times, and that makes them stronger. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think it's a beautiful thing to want to change the world and surround oneself with people that are kind and wanting to do so as well, and to grow sunflowers when in the darkest of places. I like that line because stretching towards the light, even when in darkness. I think that when in these dark places, that you have choices to make, and you can choose to go down negative paths or positive paths. You can choose to join in doing nefarious things, or you can choose to go against the grain sometimes and be your own person and follow the quote unquote light. Though I know darkness and light is a silly reference and things, but in the way that it's being used and all that, I like that line a lot, because sunflowers always reach and lift their head towards the sun, towards the light, and so that is saying, I will help people around me and myself lift our heads towards the light, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Leslie says, the pure honesty and celebration of self. Yes, definitely. And that's what this poem asks to do. So I think this prompt asks to do. So I think this is really, really beautiful. And then we have their 8-year-old wisdoms. One moment. Eight-year-old wisdoms, also by the Overlord. I don't know why it took you so long to figure it out. We used to sit under trees, reading books and writing quotes we liked away from the noise. of all the fights and squabbles. We covered our ears under our pillow to drown out the shouting. We would take walks to the quietest parts of nature, sit under overhanging trees so people outside couldn't see us. We figured out the world sucked and we had to take care of our own. So why did you start taking care of others? You know better than to try and save people. We saw it time and again. People save themselves when they are ready. Some people just aren't worth a second chance. You were so busy burying me in your subconscious that you forgot all that we learned. I was wise beyond my years, yet somehow you became separate from me. You had to learn it all over again. Why? Oh, why would you venture out into the city and take on half the world? It was never going to bring him back. I'm proud of you for learning from your mistakes, even the ones that weren't your fault. Thanks for letting me back in your mind, your memories. I have a lot to show you. We can be okay, help those who ask for it, grow a garden of poetry from here, where we feel safe and loved. I really love our new pony. You gave him the best name. I don't know why it took... Oh. And if you look on their page... Wait. Okay, yeah. Sorry, got confused for a second there. So if you look on their page, they have a picture of their pony in a red bow tie, and it is their Great Dane. And it says, let's celebrate learning. And I think that's cool. And their 8-year-old self sounds bossy. And so I guess that's why they have the bossy boots. But I like the idea of a child seeing a big dog and getting excited and happy. So, because, animal kids. So I like that funny part. And also I know how much the Overlord loves their dogs. So that also makes me smile. But I like that it's a conversation with their adult self and calling them out on things that they think about. So I think they did an incredible job of explaining that. And as they have pointed out, they rewrote it a few times because they're like, hey, and I was like, no. So I applaud their tenacity as well for redoing it. And fulfilling a childhood dream. Yes. So that was wonderful, Overlord. And the next one is Suki, Dreams in Color Poetry. I love her little cat in this image. Y'all are gonna love these. May I brag for a second? I think I'm going to. Y'all are going to love the covers for these, the people who did these, because they are special. And I just adore Suki's so much. Everybody got their own, but Suki's just makes me smile, especially with that little cat. It is just so darn cute. I want to gobble it up. It is so cute. Okay, had to do it. Leslie's giving the hearts. And so this is Suki Morrison, Dreams in Color Poetry. Let me first say, I am proud of who I am. I'm more than delighted that I found an outlet in poetry. It's brought out the best in me, become the ultimate therapy. Dreams in Color Poetry is truly me. I love to dream and plan and scheme. There's so much left I want to do. In my years on earth, I unwillingly skipped a few. Illness took control of me, but that's all in the past. I can see beautiful things on the horizon. Time spent with family, reuniting with someone in my dreams. Letting go of grief is another thing. My life has had its shares of ups and downs, but hasn't everybody's? I'm keeping my head, I'm taking it in stride. I'm heading out of the deep end to the shallows, to wait in the warm waters of peace and tranquility, climbing the mountains when they're placed in front of me, and enjoying the view when I reach the summit, knowing this time I'll keep my sanity. I'm dreaming of the future. Who knows what it will bring? I'm prepared for brightness and enlightenment. It's all good, and I believe in me. I have so much love in my heart for this community. The diversity is exciting and enlightening and freeing. I simply adore all the poetry I'm seeing. I'm doing great, dreaming colorful dreams, enjoying the ride of the life I'm leading. I really like the optimism of this in spite of whatever's come out and struck her. And I've liked that in all the poems, but I like that she really spells it out in her beautiful rhyme. And I really like to wait in the warm waters of peace and tranquility, climbing the mountains when they're placed in front of me. I'm enjoying the view when I reach the summit, knowing this time I'll keep my sanity. That's some really deep thought there that might somewhat not seem it because of the way it's worded in this simple, straightforward wording that's so beautiful. And yet the meaning behind it and the depth of emotion behind it all is really intense. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Um, and then I have so much love in my heart for this community. The diversity is exciting and enlightening and freeing. Oh, isn't that what we all just want to experience? A diversity that is exciting, enlightening, and freeing? I love that line. I love that line. And then enjoying the ride of life that I'm leading. And then she says, age 8, Suki, 8-year-old me. And Leslie says, outstanding with hearts. Yes. An 8-year-old me says, sitting in the fireplace pit on the floor pillows, reading my soon-to-be favorite book, Wind in the Willows. I still love to read. I see and write poetry. Mom and Dad tell me they're impressed. I'm reading so much at my age. I'm proud of myself and I enjoy every page. Reading is my favorite. It's still one of my favorites. I kind of figured Big Me would love reading because we hate figures, math, yuck. I love being taken away to different places and ideas I wouldn't have had otherwise. Granddad taught me to love books, reading to me all the time, especially nursery rhymes. My favorite is The Crooked Man. We took turns reading that. I wish he hadn't died last year. I don't know what it means. I do know I can't see him anymore except in my dreams. I didn't know at the time of Granddad's death would teach me how to grieve and help me later when it was another family's turn to leave. I take my Fred Flintstone radio out to the swings. I listen to Car Wash and Still the One, my favorite ones to sing. I knew I'd loved music my entire life, but never thought opera would take a slice of musical appeal. But it's so beautiful to hear. Swimming at the pool, I'm a little fish. Why I'd quit the swish swish? I know I still like to, and I should do it at the gym. Tusk tusk. I'm happy with myself. I'm proud of who I became. I'm a good little girl who became a good woman. But what planet was I on to marry the first guy? Donny Osmond was my 8-year-old plan, and I had better taste back then. But the second time, Joe was great. He loved me more than anything, made me feel as safe as I did at 8. My mom and dad taught me early about diversity, and Joe, being Cuban American, thrilled me. His dark good looks, his sexy Spanish pulled me into a culture I loved. 8-year-old me would have loved the ethnicity introduced to us. He was so easy to love. So this life I've led really has been a thrilling ride. I don't know what's next. The 8-year-old me would love a surprise adventure. I always love to travel. I see that about to unfold. Dreams and color poetry one day soon to hit the open road. Oh, love that. Ash has given all the growing hearts. And even though this also does not qualify for a golden ticket because she's talking about her 8-year-old self mostly. Um, it's gorgeous, and I love that she took us on a ride through her life. She, I love where she uses the onomatopoeia, the swish swish, and tusk tusk, and um, yuck, and the repetition of right, right, right. She brings that enthusiasm of the 8-year-old into what she wrote, and I think that's really beautiful. Um, and she really gives us a peek inside of what makes her tick, what has happened in her life that has created the Suki that we see today. And so I really like that. Leslie says it's sensational, whimsical, and introspective. Yes, Leslie, it most certainly is that. And then for the final piece, we have The Nature of Ash. The nature underscore of ash. And this is called Absurdly Me. Absurd the word when meant transferred and stirred, juggled, buckled then friends, snuggled, chuckled, how rare we fare, pen. Bends with daring care, recurred, smudged, blurred, zen spent, deferred, yet heard. Accept the wreck, then spin respect, effect affirms by terms. Hen tends with worms and squirms, returns to spurns, glen dense, strong yearns that burns, thin, raised, amazed. When I'm starting over, give me 1 second. Okay. Absurdly Me by The Nature of Ash. Stop laughing, Ash. Absurd the word when meant transferred and stirred, juggled, buckled in friends, snuggled, chuckled, how rare we fare. Pen bends with daring care, recurred, smudged, blurred, zen spent, deferred, yet heard. Accept the wreck, the spend respect, effect affirms by terms. Hen tends with worms and squirms, returns, not spurns, glen dense, strong yearns that burns, thin, raised, amazed, when men hot blazed, spun dazed. So clear, raised cheer, men sense all year, no fear. Such fun not done, blend hence neath sun, toss bile past smile, wind hangs long mile, in mass but aisle, we run to start, pull cart lend, hard but smart, throw dart till the end. And Ash definitely went a different way about doing this. But if you know her, when you're reading these lines, you can read that she's talking about herself. And I think that by entitled it Absurdly Me um, is a bit of a self laugh at what she's doing. But one, I love the wordplay. I love the rhythm of the play and the rhyme all through it, even though I fudged it up pretty good. But I love that repetition of sound that she's created in both the assonance and consonants. And I love the way that she's using these one syllable words that you wouldn't think are describing her. And yet she's telling a real story. You can feel it. Yes, you can feel it. Um, and you can feel the exuberance for life, and you can feel the need to be kind in it throughout it. Um, Such fun not done, blend hints neath sun, toss bile past smile. Wind hangs long while, in mass but aisle. In mass but aisle. I mean, that's, when you think about it, we run to start, pull cart land, hard but smart. Throw dart till the end. And I like that, the throw dart till the end, because as a reader, you don't know, is she throwing to hit the bullseye, or is it just throw the dart and wherever you land, go with it and feel it? And that's open to reader interpretation because most people who read it won't know anything about her. And so I like that. Recurred, smudge, blurred, zen, spit, deferred, yet heard. Um, there's so much in it that is saying, this is me and this is how I am. But it's saying it in a way that makes you have to pause and read it and go, oh, she's making us use our brain. And that's kind of cool because who doesn't want to use their brain? So I like it. I like the play. I like the rhythm of it a lot. So that is the last of our About Me. Leslie says, let it go and land where it may. Yes. Um, so I think this is a wonderful poem to end this on. Oh, wait, sorry. Oops. I've got to go into another folder. I was about to end the night, but we're not done. We are not done. Oops. We have a couple of poems from last night that we still haven't read. So that was great, Ash. And now, oh, did you decide no on that other one? Thank you, Ash. You're kind. I'd prefer to hear you read it. I bet you read it so differently. Did you decide no on yours? I'm trying to find the one that they're in. You did that without editing? Wow, that's amazing, Ash. I would have to edit to get something like that rhythmically. I'm just going to go to my page. I can't. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, it's not very good. So, Matt, well, you need to decide. I'll read mine and you can decide between then and now if you want yours read. And so this was, I misunderstood and thought I had to write two poems if I wanted the golden ticket. And so I wrote two poems when I could have just read the one poem. And I misunderstood my own rules because I also didn't go back and read them. So lesson learned for many of us tonight. But I wrote a first poem before writing the second one. And this is it. And it's called Poison Harvest. And I'm from The Breath of Daydreams. Imbibe my mind to wrap a line, to steal a chord, to feast when bored. Desist, reject, encumbered moon. It seems I misspoke in the candor of a leaping February moon. Fear bounced, hate flounced, sadness whistled a tune, that eager nostalgia threw a wink and consumed. When raging hysteria tickles the fancy out of bored provocateurs, my tongue trips over the serendipity of mind-splitting stupidity. There's no point in denying a universal magnet, always repelling the like and drawing the shockingly opposite straight to the doorstep of an encroaching tomorrow. Perhaps that's what creates the well-rounded. Ignorance chipped away brutal blow by brutal blow, from scraping against the edges of a dulled brain hammering intolerance in the darkness until all that is left is the cherry and the pit. Well, the room can decide. I wrote an argument, but it felt it lacked wittiness. We'll read it. I agree with Ash. So we will read it, and y'all know I don't talk about mine. So moving on to the overlords. Let me see. Arguments don't have to be funny, though, Overlord. And Leslie's giving the heart faces. Thank you, Leslie. So this is the Overlord, VJHD writer. And they wrote, one moment. Okay. So they wrote, overwhelmed by the rarity of a 29th day, they misspoke in the candor of a leaping February moon. Raging hysteria tickles the fancy out of bored provocateurs. Therefore, you may as well strap in for a ride, as this roller coaster live isn't ending any full stops. I'm arguing with myself, like I did with everybody else. And so this is a rabbit's hole argument. Well, how can you think you are here? Whoops. This is the rabbit's hole argument. Okay, let's see who is here. Guest reader? I think I'm here. Well, how can you think you are here? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Well, where did you come from? Outside. No, where from? Oh, my car. Okay, moving on. We know guest reader is here. Woo! Who else is here? How do you know I'm here? Well, I can see you, can't I? Can you? You were right in front of me. Well, I could be a figment of your imagination. How do you know that you were here? Because I'm standing here. You could be laying in bed dreaming you are standing. Well, in that case, we aren't having an argument and I'm sleep talking, so be quiet now. To be or not to be? Isn't that the question we should be asking? No, because this is Poetry Live, not a philosophy class. Well, poetry is the very essence of existentialism, wouldn't you say? In that case, you are simply made up of poems you have written. No, wait, hold on. Well, poetry is the very essence of existentialism, wouldn't you say? In that case, you are simply made up of poems you have written. Well, the argument of existentialism is that my essence is made up of my choices and not by what I'm governed to be. So I guess I am just one long-winded poem. So what about those who don't write poetry? They cease to exist? You cannot cease if you've never begun. But how do you begin if we can't write a poem on entry into earth? Well, I guess that very act of being born in Mother Nature's form of poetry. No, because then we lose existentialism and fall into essentialism. If someone else wrote us into existence, then we have no free will and are simply designed and controlled by our Creator. Why can we not have both? Essentialism is children learning the way of the world, but growing up existentially and questioning our children's can truly ask. Well, on that premise, most of the humans have grown to be carbon copies of who they were designed to be. Essentialist humans who have existential crises around midlife for a week before they buy a red sports car. My car isn't red. Existentialism is about individual freedom and creating your own meaning in life. Well, that's 42. Since I know that raging hysteria tickles the fancy out of bored provocateurs, I am not going to play along with this. I have free will and I choose not to argue with you. You weren't arguing with me. Yes, I was. No, you weren't. Yes, I was. You were being ludicrous and I was presenting a counter argument. You were just making a connected series of statements. Yes, intended to establish a proposition. I really don't think I should be encouraging you. You seem to simply want to argue with me. What? I just told you I won't be arguing with you. Yes, you did, in a very argumentative tone, I might add. I did not. I'm as cool as a cucumber and red as a beet. Oh, this is ridiculous. Emoji stuff. You clearly misspoke in the candor of a leaping February moon. That made absolutely no sense. What are you talking about? I was just replying to the emoticons you deployed. If you want me to make sense, then try speaking actual English. And you know what? I like all of that just for the last line of it. The last line of it is my favorite. Ash, you are a poem behind. Yes, the cherry and the pit. But I love that last line because there's an inside joke there about emoticons. And they used emoticons up there that say something like, shh, shh. I think the emoticons say, shh, I'm licking a quacker. But it's probably not what they intended. I don't know. Um, but that's what I'm going with. I know. I remember them. I remember the emoticon discussion. Um, but and this is why you don't use emoticons, because someone like emojis, because someone like me will say you're licking a quacker when that's probably not what it is. And of course the 42. And what color is your car then? What I don't like about this poem, and I don't like it a whole heck of a lot, is having to say existentialism again and again and again and again. Why would you do that? Because you knew I was going to read it. I don't speak emoticon, so meh. Well, I guess we need to learn how to speak emoticon. But no, this was good, and it was plenty witty. It was just a different kind of witty, that's all. But I like the wit that you used in it. And like I said, I like the last line a lot. And I like that you want people to be quiet so that you can like a quacker. That cracks me up. Overlord says it's a philosophy argument. There are a lot of quackers in philosophy. So this was great. You did an amazing job. And I'm only teasing Overlord because I can get away with it. They're probably laughing at me calling it a quacker too. So, and these were amazing. Everybody did a great job tonight. Thank you guys so much for letting us read your poetry. And I am going to end that by saying goodnight to y'all and finding what I'm supposed to read because it's in a different folder. And saying that, hold on. We are the voices beyond the den. We are the cats who will always win. We are poets of imagination, creativity, and meows scratching alphabetical dexterity. We search for clues and hunt for treats. We base our prose on instinctual beats. We keep a sharp eye towards various causes. We attract certain types of poetic pauses. We have a propensity for finding the fun when not being studiously serious with puns. We are the voices above the fray. We're a safe space for those with something to say. We are the Society of Secretly Perfect Poets. Won't you look into how to come join us? Good night.